I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
What's up with it? What's up with it?
What's good? What's good?
Apologize for the delay, man. Welcome back to Chief Seats, Big Mo, H-Rap. H-Rap, what's good with you, man?
I'm frowning inside joke.
You say what?
Tough. I was told I smiled too much, so I'm looking tough tonight.
Hey, you need to cut that out, man. You need to cut that out. Hey, look here, man. I know you cutting up, boy. Hey, listen, the past 2 hours been crazy for me, man. I've been trying to figure it out, man. But you know what? I'm going to get my head together. We're going to get through this one tonight, man. We're going to get through it. Y'all see the title, man. Rap, tell them what we're talking about.
Tonight, we're talking about ADB, adult deficit behavior. It's too many people. I don't even want to make it our community centric, but why not? Let's make it our community centric. There's too many people in our community that are not acting their age. They're acting as if they were 10, 11, 12, 14 years old. You know, you have to show your food on the internet. You have to put every thought you ever had in your head on the internet. You have to do all this stuff on the internet, and then we fighting on the internet. We doing too much nonsense. We're arguing. Grown men, grown millionaires on television arguing about something that was said 6, 7 years ago. It is an attempt to get attention, and that means there's a deficit in adult behavior. So we named it adult deficit behavior.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you to define that, and I'm gonna get ahead of myself because me and you we was talking earlier this week about a situation that I was dealing with, still dealing with, been dealing with. I'm 46 years old, been dealing with it for like 46 years with the family. And that's a conversation we're going to have on a different podcast, you know, just talking about some of the issues and stuff with family. But that behavior that you described, what you just talked about, it almost like it summed up everything on that level for me with my family, on both sides of the family. My mama's side, my daddy's side. And I'm going to do some cussing tonight. You can't talk about adult deficit behavior without talking about bitch niggas and bitchettes. So if y'all don't want to hear no language like that tonight, then right now is the time to check out. But yeah, man. But yeah, sum it up for me real quick with a. I don't know if you got your own definition in mind.
You know what? I don't have a definition in mind.
Let's make one up tonight then.
It's just what you know. I can't say that word. You know where I am, niggas. Well, yeah, man. And from my end, we just gonna call it chump ass dudes, you know what I mean?
Right.
And for these chumps in the world, it's just you have to be the center of attention. I've never been in a situation that I had to be the center of attention. I have been relatively popular my entire life. I didn't even realize I was in the in crowd until I was 50 years old, 53. And one day, me and the guy sitting around talking, I said, "Yeah, I've never been in the in crowd." And they was like, "What?" And it's been like my man Slick, he taps in on Build and Destroy. And he mentioned it. So I never needed to be the dude that everybody was paying attention to, you know? And it seems that it is this quest to be on top or in front or out front or be seen or be heard. I'm smart. And it annoys me to no end. And that's what leads to this thing. You have to be seen. Instead of just, look, if you're that dope, you'll be seen. And that's just the bottom line. And it seems to be, you know, and I hate to be sexist. And if I offend the sisters that's watching, I expect women to want to be seen. Women get down, you know, nails, feet, you know, they smelling good. They got us looking. But when men need to be seen, it's like shine. You know, and I don't know if it's tied into athletics or what have you, but I've never needed to be seen. You know, I'm cool, man. I'm the youngest of my family, you know, my mother's children. You know, I got brothers, I got cousins. I never, you know, I was always good fading in the back. Now you get me in the room with the homies, or, you know, I'm silliest dude in the room. But you sit me in a room with people I don't know, I'm watching.
Yeah, but it's like it's a reason, I think, for that in our community with our people,
Mhm.
because and and again, that's a whole different conversation. But a lot of us, just coming from poverty or just coming from not having nothing and being
Mhm.
conditioned to have this desire to just let people know you got this or you got that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something
Yeah.
that was kind of, it was put into us, you know what I'm saying, ages ago.
Mhm.
But learning
Mhm.
how to deal with that, understanding, what I'm saying, how to move with that is something that I feel like, that kind of separates you from that, I don't know, that adult deficit behavior stereotype or whatever. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Because I can dig it because that's why you got to have a flashy ride. That's why you got to have a
Mm-hmm.
flashy yeah. That's why you got to have the shines or whatever. I've never been a shines dude. I've never purchased a gold chain. I've never worn a ring. I mean, a
Come on,
bracelet.
man. I ain't buying
For
that
real.
now.
I've
Never
never.
never bought a gold chain.
Nah, man.
Not
I've
even the
never.
rope.
Nah. I never wanted it. I never wanted it. And what part of the reason is because most of my see living in Chicago, you coming up, public transportation was the way.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need a ride in Chicago. The trains, buses, at one point in my life, buses ran every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can get anywhere you wanted to on the bus. And it wasn't like, are you on the bus? It was like, hey, meet me. You tell the homies, meet me here. And as the bus went along, your homies got on. So it was no big deal. And you see people sitting on the train with shines. And
Mm-hmm.
then one of the rules in Chicago, don't sit by the back door. You sit by the back door, you got shines on. You had shines on.
Yeah, you fooled.
So, it was just never my get down. I've never been the flashy dude. So I've never, and like I said, I don't know, I never wanted heavy sounds. And as much as I love hip hop music, I love as much as I used to bump my music loud, I've never had sounds in my car. I didn't want I've never wanted the attention.
Give me an example of somebody suffering from adult deficit behavior. Give me the best example you can give me.
T.O.
Why? Give
T.O.
me
gets
what's his symptoms?
T.O. is overly emotional. Everybody's out to get him. He's suffering from paranoia. This week, him and Stephen A. Smith are beefing about, who left the toilet seat down or whatever. I don't know. But this dude said, he said Stephen A. Smith is mentioning Shannon Sharp and Dion, and now I'm looking at them sideways. Look, man, if you telling the world that Stephen A. Smith is phony, and you telling the world that he's a clown and a jerk, why is he having people who out your mouth the very next sentence was, I know them, I have respect for them. So why are we talking about why are you questioning two men who you have respect for, but you gonna act funny with them? Anybody who says anything about this dude, it's a personal attack. He's sitting on TV crying. That's my quarterback. You can't look. It's a common denominator in this situation. You couldn't get along with McFive. You couldn't get along with Garcia. You had issues. You've
Mm-hmm.
had issues everywhere you've gone. Oh, people in the locker room love me. It's a lot of people that love clowns. For
Yeah,
whatever reason, clowns fit right in a lot of places.
with other
So, and I'm
clowns.
like, yeah, man. I know some cool people that love some bozos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got homies that me and my man Bud, we just sit back and watch sometimes when the crew together, and we just watch. And we like, really? So T.O. is the perfect example that he needs attention. The fact that he didn't go in, I had issues with all these athletes that don't go in on the first time and they sitting up crying. I remember one time Chris Carter was literally collecting a paycheck on television, didn't get elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he sat on the set like this. Adult deficit behavior. Dude, there's no way. Look, if you work your behind off and you don't get something, I get it. It's frustrating. I've been passed up for management positions, but I never I just say, hey man, I ain't applying no more.
I'm gonna give you an example. And I'm not gonna say that this individual is suffering from adult deficit behavior, but he's displayed some of that behavior. We talked about him. Your boy Corey Holcomb. My problem with him, and what I want to point out is this: when you spend time speaking on somebody else's situation, the way that I've seen him do, when it's not necessary, you speaking out on his situation, on somebody else's situation, ain't got nothing to do with what you. It ain't affect nothing in your world. Why are you speaking on it? Especially if it's negative. If it's not positive, why are you speaking on it to begin with in a negative way? And to me, you see too many people like that, especially with celebrities. You know, I know, most of the people that we encounter are people that we know personally or people that we just cross paths with. But with the celebrities, a lot of times that's what you see. It's like, why are you doing this if it's not for attention? You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing this unless there's not if it's not some type of resentment towards that individual that you're speaking on, you know? And you trying to bring people into your way of thinking when it comes to this individual. I don't like that shit.
Yeah,
I like dude, man. You know, I ain't trying to throw a punch and pull it back, but I'm a fan of his art, you know? And I've agreed with a lot of things that he spoke on. But I see him do this shit too much.
Like, man, I watch that show religiously, man. If I don't catch it live, I'm watching it while I'm doing my thing or listening to it as I do my thing throughout the day. And for the last 6 weeks, I have not been able to complete one Corey Holcomb 5150 program. And the reason I haven't been able to complete a 5150 episode is because I'm tired of the constant berating of women. Okay, women ain't no good. You can't trust them. Watch out for these women. They ain't, if you got money, you can sleep with every woman in the world. Corey, you said that in 2015. You said that in 2018. It's 2023. We get it. And like this week, he was talking about papoose and letting his woman outside scantily dressed. Okay, I don't want my woman with her fun bags all out either, and her butt out and all. I get it, but that's his problem. I'm not,
Right.
no, I ain't. I mean, I'm with you, man. And see, that is the whole purpose of this conversation. That has become the norm to criticize somebody's life. If your life not perfect, I don't need you to be criticizing anybody else's get down, man. And that's the problem.
This behavior is not just about speaking on people in a negative way or stuff like that. It's about some of the stuff that you do. You talking about women, we talking about examples. I'll give you another one. My cousin, and I can speak on this because we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Me, her, the whole family, we all talked about it. About 2-3 years ago, on Christmas, around Christmas time, my cousin's boyfriend shot her 9 times. She broke up with him. He shot her 9 times, left her right there to die. Right? Left the house, assumed she was dead. And luckily, I ain't gonna get into the story, but one of the kids come by and got the neighbors, and today she's fine. We talked junk to each other this morning, but that's their behavior because she wanted to leave him, right? He, pride and ego got in the way. If I can't have you, can't nobody have you. Adult deficit behavior. You know what I'm saying? Number one. Number two, if you and this go for men and women, if you in a relationship, let's say for whatever reason it don't work out, right? This is me on a personal level. I don't like to see the mudslinging that goes on after that. And I say that because of this. If y'all were together, and especially if you were together for a significant amount of time, it was a reason you was with her. It's a reason why you were with him. You know what I'm saying? So depending on the nature of the situation, unless it's something that you have to speak up to defend your character or your integrity, hey, don't be out there talking shit about that woman. Don't be out there running your mouth about that man. Don't do that. Don't do that because you were with him. You were with her. You know what I'm saying? So listen, just agree to go your separate ways. Don't sling no mud. Don't be all foul with it. You know what I'm saying? And move on with your life.
Man,
and that's something that I've seen far too often. Matter of fact, Me and my, and he gonna hate me for calling him out. I hope he don't see this. But me and my son, I got into it with him the other day. That's what made me think about that. Me and him got into it about, you know, a situation that he going through. And I'm like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. Just keep it playing. We ain't got to do that. If it ain't all good no more, just leave.
Let's win. Don't go win.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I have literally seen, I ain't gonna say no names because there's people from the hood who watch this. Yeah. I've seen people post illicit pictures on Facebook of sexual acts when you talk about mudslinging. And that was the lowest of the low. Now, old girl, I mean, the situation was the situation, but I'm never going, because look, like you said, you with this person a significant amount of time. You chose to be with them. Even if they was whipping your behind, if this woman was coming home and then cooked dinner, you took them black eyes, dog. If she was stealing from you, you let her continue to steal. And that and what really is a true factor, and this as far as men, because we can't speak on women, but as far as men, and maybe we can speak on women, is the man. I'm blaming men for this poor behavior, because every time in my life that I was on some sucker shit, excuse me, y'all know what I am. Every time I went, I'm going to say, every time in my life I was on some sucker shit, it was always a man there to go, yo, nah, even when I was, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Even that's when I was, I remember this dude, he attacked he beat the hell out of my oldest sister. And I promised myself, I told him that day, I was like 11 or 12. I said, I'm going to catch up with you, man. And one day I was finna get him, and some of the homies, Rick Moss and Bucci, they were older cats. They was like big brothers. They still down with me to this day. They was like, we can't do this right here. You know, anytime I was gonna step out of character, it was always my cousin Vince. That's how I got the nickname Angry Man. I used to react. You know, my whole thing was to pop off. Just what?
Yeah.
I had the Napoleon complex. I was a short dude. I grew 5 inches over one summer. I grew from 5'5", literally praying to God that I could be taller than my 5'5" mother, to being 5'10". I never got past it. So I had to fight. And he used to call me Angry Man. And he used to antagonize the hell out of me. But he also, in antagonizing me, what he was really doing, and Vince was 2 years younger than me. What he was really doing was holding up a mirror. You see how foolish you look. My cousin Mike, his brother Mike, you look real. And that's the beauty in the Williams part of my family. They had no problem saying, Mike could say, "Cuz you look real stupid right now." And it wasn't no, hey man, see, you need to really calm down. It was, you look real stupid right now. And I believe that's missing. That's why, like when you hear T.O.'s story, his daddy lived across the street, never interacted with him. Across the street, you could walk out your grandmother's house directly into your daddy's house without making a turn. If a lot more of these men in the community paid attention to these boys and these young ladies, because like me and my homeboy Craig, we've been having this discussion at least 25 years, at least, because my daughter 26. So yeah, she'll be 26 this year. We've been having at least 25 years, 23, 25 years. You need your mother to teach you how to be a gentleman. You teach your father how to teach you how to be a man. You need your mother to teach you how to be a woman, and your father will teach you how to be a lady. And when we get in these situations, well, man, I think you a sucker immediately when you make this statement. Man, I only got to deal with her for the next 15 years. No, you got to deal with that lady for the rest of your life, because y'all going to share grandchildren, graduations, so forth. You might not be, hey, what's up? Let's go to the cookout. No, not that. But this is somebody you got to share this individual with.
Right.
And when you around men, my grandfathers, my grandmothers, my mother, my uncles, I couldn't be a sucker, man.
You going somewhere that's dangerous, that you walking on eggshells with. when you talk about them situations, those type of relationships, when you're talking about a man and a woman that ain't work out, but now they got kids in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of suckers out there that just
Mm-hmm.
ain't built to be fathers. You got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
women out there that make it impossible for a man to be a father. And
Mm-hmm.
both of them gonna swear up and down that they right about the situation. When
Mm-hmm.
can't none one of them be civil, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
do what need to be done for them kids. That's a whole nother conversation. But
No, that's adult behavior, because you can't say you love Junior or love Missy and can't get along.
mm-hmm.
If you love your children, you can hate that person, but I'm not finna act a fool around my children. I need my children to grow up in as positive of an environment as humanly possible. But people in their pride, for whatever reason, and their immaturity, they want to fight and fuss and cuss
Mm-hmm.
to no end.
Okay.
And this
All right.
is why our children 30% retired.
We men, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we can only speak from a man's perspective. I ain't never been
Mm-hmm.
a woman a day in my life and ain't gonna be one. Right? So in that situation, explain to me how somebody who's not dealing with adult deficit behavior deal with a situation when you got the child right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
woman intolerable.
Mm-hmm.
She talks shit, she pop off, she like to swing like she a man. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can't go there because you already know how that's gonna play out. If you're not struggling with adult deficit behavior, because we know what it looked like when you got a suck in the mix. Somebody going to jail, somebody get hurt. Like I told you about my cousin, somebody get shot 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with that situation if you're not suffering from that?
This is a theory, because I never had to actually deal with that situation. But you know what? You must bring in mediation. A lot of times that I've seen, because I know some people, I'm related to some people who set it off like Vivica. You know, I had
Hmm.
cousins who knew that me and Mike and Vince and Charles and Leroy and you know, they knew that we would move if they needed us to move. You have, in my opinion, you have to have that person who's suffering. Usually, has somebody with sense in that circle, and you just like you said, bring in mediation and go through the third party at all times. You're gonna have to, in my opinion, you have to, because if you try to handle it on your own, you're gonna continue to lose. Stupidity never dies; it lives and it festers. It's like I'm gonna quote my grandmother. If you get pneumonia, it never go away. It just sit at the bottom of your lungs and wait for your immune system to kick up. Damn foolery is the same way.
Okay, let me stop you though. Change that dynamic though. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna give you a scenario. You at the crib, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You go by the house, you going to pick little man up. All right.
Mm-hmm.
She find out you done moved on with somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what
She
it
in her
usually.
feelings about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
She cussing, she doing this, she doing that. You know, she using the child as a weapon. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Keeping the kid from you, whatever. She might even swing off on you. You in the heat of the moment. Ain't no time for no mediation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Well, you're gonna
saying?
have to just walk it off then, because anything you do at that moment, you going to jail. You going to jail. See, that's the and see, but again, that's when that whole situation kick off, when when you are in a situation to whereas you must protect your future.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of people, when you got that adult deficit behavior, when you don't realize any move I make, you're gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. You know the situation with me and my daughter at the dentist's office. I made the decision that day, I'm going to jail. I made
Yeah.
the decision that day, I'm going to jail. My daughter called me, he hurt me. Excuse me?
Enough said.
Enough said. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
put your mom on the phone. Where you at? Meet me here. I didn't even ask the supervisor to leave the gig. I said, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't even think I was done. I was like, I walked out the door, got to the
Mm-hmm.
joint. Only a sociopath is seething the entire way. 15 minutes without doing nothing, you going to calm down. And I did.
Yeah.
So, but it's still in my mind. If it went down the way she described it going down on the phone, I got to do something.
Yeah.
Well, I get in the car. I turn to her mama. What happened? I said, talk to my baby. I said, what happened? She said, da, 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 da. I turned to her mama. Is that what happened? She was like, yeah, let's went. We hit the joint, but I'm calm now. I'm thinking. And the man get to popping off at me. And I say, my man, stop cursing at me. And he kept cursing. I say, stop cursing at me. He kept cursing. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go to jail. I literally said, all right, looks like I'm going to jail tonight. And I said, if you curse at me again, I'm going to beat you up, man. I ain't say that, but I said, I'm going to put hands on you, man. And my man, on the man code, I got to give him credit. He did just like this. I took off on him. And when the police came
the lefts and the rights.
Right. When the police came in, I was sitting on this man's chest. I just put my hands on behind my back. I got up off of him, didn't even stand all the way up and put my hands back. I made the decision. So instead of reacting, again, this comes from being around actual men. I got a homeboy. I've been truly blessed. My father died 4 months before I was born. I had my Uncle Richard. I got my Uncle Rory. I got my Uncle Theo. I got older homies. I've always gravitated towards older people in my life. Had this dude named Greg, his co-worker, super young in the game. Greg was like, I was in my 20s. Greg was like 63.
Yeah.
And Greg said, you know what, young brother? Let me tell you something. You don't really react to a lot. And he said, it's either you're cool as a cucumber or you're a time bomb ticking ready to explode. Always remember this. Men fight with their hands. Women fight with their mouths. So don't ever let a woman talk you into jail.
It's heavy right there.
I was always privileged to get guys like that, man. And again, man, me, Mike, and Vince, we were so tight. We're cousins. We're first cousins. They're brothers, raised in the same house, same mom. And I'm their first cousin. My dad is their uncle. My dad is their mom's brother. We were so tight. Vincent was murdered in 2016. It said on the obituary, special cousin. Their sons thought I was their uncle. They still call. In the morning, my nephew, Lil Mike, say, good morning, Unc, every morning. Lil Mike talks to me. DJ talked to Vince and Mike. Lil Vince talked to me. So we created this safety circle. So we always, because all three of us grew up without, my grandfather was our father.
Yeah.
And I saw my grandmother, my dad's mom, was a tall, fussing woman. And my grandfather I remember times she'd be fussing, we'd be at the dinner table. She'd be like, y'all better eat that stuff. My grandfather, scoop it off our plates real quick, suck it down real quick. And, and you learn through osmosis, like, you can't react to your woman. And, you can't react and that's one thing. With me, I have very little patience with 99% of the world. My lady can push me from here to China, and it won't. And then 99 times out of 100, I won't be triggered. But a dude, it's been times that I've taken off on a person because I was mad at the crib. I'm not going to let a woman trigger me like that. So this is the reason I believe. Why?
No. You made me think about something. Go ahead though.
It's been. I believe this is why. These foolish slogans like "No new friends," stupid. I don't really mess with people, stupid. I'm not real social, stupid. And I'm not calling you stupid because you're leery and careful with your energy and your space. Mm-hmm. You're stupid because if I don't meet Mo, I don't know anything about South Carolina. If I don't get in contact with, what is that?
No, I repeated what you said. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. You're stupid because if I get to know Carolina. If I don't meet Anthony, he in the chat room. Y'all know him as Knox. He Anthony. But
Wow,
I
bro.
don't know. I don't know New Jersey. I got homeboys who live in Boston. I got homeboys all over the country, and then we interact. My man Gant, he out there in Arizona. You know what I mean? I got homies all over the country, family all over the country. If you say no new, you stuck acting like the clown that you were at the very beginning. And that's not cool, and that's why a lot of men, what if I'd have said, no new friends? I'm meet Greg. Greg never dropped that jewel on me. And when a woman get in my face, which that has never happened to me, but if a woman ever tried to trigger me, I can reflect back to Greg. And and I've done some sucker stuff within recent months. I did some sucker stuff. But you didn't call me. Me and you rap daily. I've been on the edge daily. And it's just, I just think that if you're not surrounding yourself with men, or if you put like these dudes with these chump women, man. A lot of people say, man, she be talking too much. Nah, I ain't around nobody who can't tell me, hey man, you acting like a chump.
Mm-hmm.
If you won't tell me that, I can't be around you. If I find out you let me fall,
Yeah.
and you watch the fall,
Mm-hmm.
there is no
And
coming
see,
back.
and that's one of the things that I'd be curious about. Every neighborhood got suckers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every neighborhood got adult deficit behavior. We got somebody struggling from that. But like when you see somebody from an area that everybody thorough, everybody's
Mm-hmm.
solid, you a sucker. But I know your pops. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Pops was solid. Your brother and them, your cousin and them, all of them solid. How did happen to you? You know what I'm
That is,
saying? And to me, that's $1 million question because we all know him. It's like, man, your part, yeah, the thumbnail that we got for the show, you got your boy Pimpin' Ass Orlando. He was a sucker, right?
super
But on
suck.
that same show, you got a cat on there that we both agree he the most thorough cat on there, Weebay, right? Solid. But his son, you know what I'm saying? In season 4, they introduced his son. Not so thorough, right? How
You
that
know what?
happened?
You know what? Okay, I won't. I would go with D before I go with Weebay Jr., whatever his name.
Better example, his whole family. Yeah.
His whole family. Because see, what was his name? Weebay son, whatever. Weebay Jr.
Name it.
Weebay Jr. He just wasn't a fighter.
I got a theory on that, but go ahead.
He just wasn't a fighter. I mean, Wayman,
Naaman Bryce.
Naaman he wasn't a fighter, man. And circumstances make you street.
Mm-hmm.
And if you shelter from that, you don't care. Your father could be Weebay, and you can still be. Think about it. Naaman Bryce wasn't on the corner with Weebay.
No.
He was. He heard
But
about his pops.
those that mentality that's pointing to you, because listen, let's be clear about something. You ain't gotta be no street nigga, no goon or nothing like that to not suffer from adult deficit behavior or to not be solid. You can be as square as they come, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you don't present yourself with some of that behavior that we was talking about before, like with your boy T.O., some of them cats. But again, like when you talking about my theory on naming, because I don't want to get into a whole we breaking down the Wire series, but Weebay went away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Weebay went away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who did he have left to guide him and coach him through life? You know what I'm saying?
Mama.
And she was a damn headache, bro.
Hey,
but you
then,
had the perfect example with
I
Dito.
just thought about. Naaman was in like 8th grade when we were introduced to Naaman. He was in 8th grade.
Right.
Weebay had been in jail 4 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
he still, juice boxes and you know what I'm saying? He ain't came off the porch yet.
Yeah, he stepped off the porch yet. So but D'Angelo, That's who he was, a super sucker. Butch McRae was my granddaddy. Avon, my uncle.
The nigga was lying. He told story. He was telling stories that Weebay lived through to them cats in the pit. That's somebody who suffers from adult deficit behavior because, number one, you got all these character traits that just make you a sucker. You a liar, you soft, you weak. You know what I'm saying? You fold under pressure because, in order to not suffer from that, you got to be a quick thinker on your feet. You got to deal with you gotta have situational awareness. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know what to do in them situations. And he was not that. He was not that, and we see so many others, man. We know some personally.
I was thinking about somebody who was lying about being a football player, but yeah, you're right, man. Because
Ms. Haley asked about what's a Weebay?
Huh?
I was looking at the chat. Shout out to Miss Haley, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. We ain't forget about y'all, man. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. But she was asking, she said, what's the Weebay? Is that a Chicago person?
Oh no, Weebay is the enforcer on season 1 of The Wire. He's the dude
HBO series.
He took all the raps. He took all the weight for all the murders they committed because he was getting life without the possibility of parole. So he took all the weight on all the work. He's like, look, I didn't kill people. Y'all know I killed them. So ain't none of my friends going to jail. I killed everybody that they killed.
Right.
But like you said, I actually was recently, within the last 3 years, I got accused of being a sucker by a dude I grew up with. He had never seen me in action. He a big old dude. We call him Jim Brown. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Tracy. Indeed, it is what it is. We call him Hardhead, Tracy Hardhead, Jim Brown, whatever. And he was like, man, I don't think you can fight, B. Because he my man. I ain't take no offense to it. I said, you know what, Tracy? I said, this is what we can do. I said, we have access to a boxing gym. We can go to the boxing gym and we'll find out if I can fight or not. I said, at the end of this, we won't be mad at each other. One of us will know if the other one was a sucker. And boy, you don't want none of that. I'm done talking. We ain't got that. Boy, I done shot God. No. we can do this. And that's it. Look, we homies. We ain't got to be mad at each other.
Yeah.
We can go right over to Sewer Park. And see.
I'm gonna go in a different direction with symptoms of the behavior. I'm gonna take it away from the streets and I'm gonna go somewhere else. I think another great example is dependency. I know people personally in my family who have a dependency. They need for people to need them. And a lot of times what you see with those people is they'll damn near create situations that forces you to lean on them. Or they would encourage certain behavior from you to put you in a situation to where that, you need them.
When the smoke clears, you got to bring it to me. Yep.
Yeah. And I almost hate that I brought that up because I got a perfect example, but I'm not going to do them like that. I'm not going to put it out there like that. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it over the phone or whatever. But those people are, I like to consider them like parasites because they end up crippling you in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what it is. Maybe they lonely people. Maybe they just people who, I don't know what it is. Some narcissism type shit. But yeah, I think that's another example of that.
Chaos agents is what I call them. They create chaotic situations in order to seem as if they've saved the day. Those same kinds of people will volunteer. Oh yeah. No, I got that from remember that TV show Get Smart?
Chris Elliott.
Yeah, they was Get Smart.
Elliott,
Chaos agents. Yeah.
I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
That's a classic, man.
But man, they I call them chaos agents. They can't exist unless you are living in the midst of turmoil. And that's what they are. It's people out there like that. They will create a situation and then they will put the beauty This is the beauty of recovering from being a hothead. Because the good thing was I was suffering from adult deficit behavior, but I was a young adult, so it was age appropriate. And by the time I turned of age, I came of age and I stopped being triggered. It was the older I got. But I started noticing that people, my name is Mud in some places. Like I forget I was gonna hide it. In my family, some people in my family, my name is Mud.
Mm.
Those same people.
Yeah,
When it's
that's
something
most of
happen,
us. That's
yeah,
most of us.
but when something happened, call Brian.
Yeah. And what's crazy about that is like one of the main things that put you under that category of somebody who's suffering from that is not owning your shit. You know what I'm saying? Own it. You know what I'm saying? Own it. And you can take it to the streets or whatever, or you can take it anywhere in the boardroom or whatever. But if you created this situation,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Before you impact somebody else in a negative way, just
Mm-hmm.
own that. You know what I'm saying? Just own it. Like back in the day, like you just said, they called you Mud, right? Hey, I know what I did. I know what I did. I ain't putting it on you. Got locked up years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I'm supposed to be in there because I found myself in a situation they had no business being in to begin with, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, 18, 19 maybe. Pick up the phone. I called every man in my family that I looked up to as a mentor, somebody who I considered, I felt like supposed to love me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before I can even explain to them, I'm not calling you asking you for nothing. I got bail money. I'll deal with this. But I'm at a point in my life now to where I'm ready to, I'm ready to listen. I'm opening my mind up. I'm ready to listen. I can't go nowhere. I'm here. I'm gonna be here for a minute. So I just want to listen. Whatever game you got to give it to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before I can get that out my mouth, they don't call my house no more. You know what I'm saying? Or they just didn't answer the phone. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
just turned their backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that could have put me in a position to where I'm finna for sure fall up under that category. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got
Mm-hmm.
no structure, no guy. Shout out to the big homies. Shout out to some of them cats at the county or whatever who, knew me from wherever and just, decided to coach me up at least in that moment. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
got home, the ones who took care of that.
Mm-hmm.
But they some bitch niggas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Every last
And
one of
your
them.
point,
And I
yeah,
don't
and your
apologize to that if you watching. Family or foe, it don't matter. You know what you did.
hey man, I I've been judged so much in my family. One of the most outstanding moments. It was a seminal moment in my life. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is when I walked away from a lot of people. I remember one day, my mom moved us to the north side of Chicago. We were from the west side. My mom used to go visit her grandmother and stop by my grandmother's house, say hi. My mother, my dad's mother. My mother's mother has been gone for a while. But at this point, my dad's mother's still alive. And I'm playing football. I'm getting ready for the season, and I'm going back and forth with my little cousins. And with my little cousins, I'm playing with them. And I had a cousin. Now, mind you, I don't even think I had a drink at this point in my life.
Mm.
My cousin walked up to me and said, "Man, you always playing. You're gonna be just like another one of our cousins who was a drug addict at that moment." And I'm like, "Bitch, Nick."
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm playing with my cousins. I'm interacting with young people, giving them the attention that I craved from you. And your only response is, "I'm gonna be a drug addict."
Mm-hmm.
Threw me right under the bus. I walked away from that side from that point on. It was
Yeah.
crazy, man.
And see, we identify that stuff young. We identify
Mm-hmm.
way younger than that. Hey, we
Yeah.
done grew up in the house where we, all the cousins clicked up and we got that one little tattletale.
Mm-hmm.
We get that discernment at a young age. We get it at a young age, man. And I don't know what the answer is because we talked about how, we don't understand how it hits certain individuals. We may have certain theories when it comes to certain people, but everybody around you seemed to be solid, but you ended up one of them, right? So if you can't understand how it happened, then how how do you come up with the solution? And I mean, they here to stay.
And the funny thing is, to me, I think the only thing I come up with is this. You grow up around me, you grow up around you grow up around Big Illinois, you grow up around DMVJ, you grow up around Knox, and we all solid. In our community, we have this thing, in my opinion, that our way isn't good enough. You know, the way we dress. Like, I got a little bop to my walk. You know, most black men got a little bop.
I got my
And
daddy's
I
bounce.
have, yeah, a little bounce, you know. And uh I've actually had people tell me, hey man, you can't be walking like that. I'm like, huh? And no, you gotta walk more straight up. You got a suit on. How you gonna walk like that? I'm like, I'm walking, man. What?
What they saying about the bop?
That what I'm assuming. I never asked them about it. That was too black to be in that bang. You know, you're dressed in a specific way. You must act the way you look. But it ain't like I'm like walking like Rudy off Fat Albert.
See, that to me that sound like code switching almost.
Yeah, and I believe the bitch nigga is actually attempting to get away from what he believes is less than a man. So real men don't sit around the backyard and smoke cigars. Like, okay, I give you a perfect, and I'm not even calling him a bitch nigga because I don't know him. He's always been known as a sucker, but the more I learned about him, he's not a sucker. He's just in his mind professional.
Right.
And this Brian Gumble.
Okay.
Brian Gumble told this story about, his dad was a straight-laced guy. He from, Brian Gumble from Chicago. He went to De La Salle, went to one of the better high schools here in Chicago.
Yeah.
And he has literally gone on air and corrected his brother's English. And everybody, see, he a sucker. And how you gonna correct his English? He a professional just like you. But Brian Gumble is only doing what his father told him. His father's brother used to come over, be like, "What's up, Jack?" Get real hood with it.
Mm-hmm. His blood brother you talk about.
His father's blood brother, his uncle. His father was straight laced. His uncle was cool. He was straight laced as well, but he was still, as we would call it, black.
Right.
He, at the same time, this is what he would do. His father would say, when his brother would leave, his father would say, "Don't you ever act like that. You act intelligent at all times." So his brother, when needed, he would code switch. And then he would switch back when he was around family. And maybe bitch niggas see their uncles and their fathers as beneath them. I don't kind of like homeboy in barbershop. This intelligent dude, the intelligent barber.
Right.
I'm this and I'm that. And at the end of the day, bro, you sitting here with us. You cutting hair.
Yeah.
Now strive to be better. But the only thing you do is strive for a different job. You're not gonna be better.
Right.
And maybe that's why dudes act like that, because they see Mo and H-Rap and go, I can be better than them. So they think, like, one of our least favorite sports personalities, Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
He gets hood when he wants affirmation that he's from the hood. But otherwise, he code switches.
Yeah, almost like a heat check with him.
Exactly. But what people don't realize, when you code switch, you make it harder on me. You make it harder on you. Mm-hmm. Because when you code switch, people anticipate us to act like you.
Right.
And you mess it up for us, because then you come and act like Mo, I come and act like H-Rap, and it's like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all don't act like Fred.
Because I got a problem with that though. I got a big problem with that, because, and that's and you started with Brian Gumble. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know enough about him to say that he this or he that, right? Because you know, you can ask yourself, once a bitch nigga, always a bitch nigga, or maybe you're not a bitch nigga, you just did some bitch nigga stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I don't know enough about that situation. I don't know enough about him to speak on that. But the whole concept of code switching, to me, it feel like it only applies to us. Like we the only ones that got a code switch. You know, I work with a lot of different ethnic groups, and I've never seen either one of them come in a room and talk any different from how they would talk around their own. But I got a lot of black people around me. We'll have conversations. We get in the conference room. All of a sudden, why you sound like that? You know, why you switch it up? You switched it up for them. Why you do that? Right? And it just comes so natural. It's like me and you could be sitting here right now chopping it up. You get on the phone and you got to call a business to set up an appointment for something. You know, you see people all the time just straight switch it up.
Enunciation through the roof.
Yeah, and I got a problem with that. I got a huge problem with that.
And that's and see, that's the thing, man. You're right. And see, look, like America is the only place on earth where you get accused of speaking the wrong way. Every place else is your dialect. Do you know Manny Ramirez and Big Papi, David Ortiz, distanced themselves from A-Rod? And guess why they distanced themselves from A-Rod? All three of them brothers are Dominican brothers. As far as I know, all three of them embrace their African heritage. Because even A-Rod. But Manny and Papi, they distanced themselves from A-Rod because he did away with his accent. They like, look, that accent is who you are.
And you can immediately identify. You got albino brothers out here. You got brothers that, like, what's the kid?
Brother Ali.
No, I'm talking about the little young rapper.
Right, Brother
I
Ali.
forget his name. No.
From Minnesota.
Logic, the kid Logic.
Logic.
Logic looked like a white boy. Looked just like a white boy, but he mixed, right? So depending on how he talk, that'll, you know, bring up the questions. Like, okay, you know, what's up with you? Because now that you speak like that, I'm looking at you now and I see you a little different.
Right.
You know, maybe you are. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's interesting because for them to do that, it's like, damn, maybe we need to start doing that. How you gonna tell me how to talk? You don't know me. You don't know what I know. You don't know how intelligent I may or may not be. You just assume because I speak in a dialect that you don't necessarily understand completely. Me and you can have a whole conversation. And white man could be standing right there. Chinese man, Mexican man, whatever, could be standing right there, ain't got a clue what we talking about. We never met each other a day in our lives. But we just start chopping it up and you get it, I get it, boom, we gone. He looking confused because he ain't got a clue. How you gonna take that from us?
And see, that's that bitch nigga shit, man. Because we in a situation where we seem to be afraid to be ourselves. Look, you know what I do for a living. I'm in Chinatown a lot. When I'm in Chinatown, they are speaking Mandarin. Everybody talking over my head.
Yep.
I remember my homegirl, she used to work with me. Her name was Marisol. Marisol was teaching me Spanish. It got to a point I got so good at it, Marisol would only talk to me at work in Spanish. I got so good that I used to eat these sandwiches in Chicago. It's a Puerto Rican neighborhood called Humboldt Park. I used to go to Humboldt Park. And for whatever reason, Puerto Rican people think I'm Dominican. I don't know what a Dominican looks like, but for whatever reason, they think I look Dominican. So I don't get no, like, Chicago's so segregated. If you go into the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time of the day, you gonna have to deal with somebody. I never had that problem. I used to go to this place and get this sandwich called a jibarito. And because I'm talking to Marisol every day at work, and Marisol will refuse. Marisol, at this point, Marisol refused to talk to me in English. I had to respond in English. I had to respond in Spanish, and I was getting good at it. I wasn't fluent, but I was fluent hearing it.
Right.
Marisol and Anna. And all of a sudden, I'm in this Port Jibarito spot. And the Jibarito dude, the dudes in there, they talking. And they trying to figure out if I was Dominican or if I was Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, I'm black. And they looked at me. They say, si habla español, I said, poquito español. And they just started laughing. And then they start speaking to me in English. Oh, so you understand? I say, poquito español, mucho poquito. And then we just laughed. And then they was like, cabron. And it's like us saying, motherfucker. So everybody else is speaking that, they're doing that thing.
Next time they come at you like that, you look at them dead in their face, you say, lame maculo.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? Hit them with one of them and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
I do it every day at work because it's all I know.
Yeah,
that's as far as I can go with it. As far as I can go with it, man.
It piss you off, say, dame un beso, my culo.
That's wild, man. Listen, man, before we get out of here, man. No, go ahead. What you about to say?
No, but that's the thing. Like you said, I think that breeds bitch niggas too, because we don't want to be us. We're ashamed to be us.
Yeah.
So that might be a major.
You're going right to my point. Go ahead, though.
That might be a major contributor to it because everybody else is doing their thing.
I think it is. I think it comes from an identity crisis. Not really knowing and understanding and embracing who you are as an individual. Because I don't think it's natural. I don't think that bitchism is natural.
It can't be.
It comes from something internal. You know what I mean? I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sit here and act like I got the answer to it. I don't think nobody got the answer to it. You don't even know where it come from, but it ain't natural.
It's not.
It ain't natural because it's a negative trait. You know what I'm saying? It's a negative trait that affects people in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't, especially for us, you know what I'm saying, as black people in the black community, because, you know, our nature is not, we don't have that destructive nature. Now we can be, you know, as resilient as we are. We can't be as resilient as we are without having that viciousness in us at times when we need to, when we need to activate that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what got us to America. Our hearts is what got us to America. If you go back and you look at the whole situation, it's because we opened ourselves up to some I don't want to cuss, but to some people we didn't know. And next thing you know, they use that against us.
Oh, John Henry Clark, the dude who opens our show, he said, white people came over here and prayed with us. We went down to pray. They came with the Bible. And we went down to pray with them. When they stood up, they had the land and we had the Bible.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's what it is.
And you know what? I think, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, we were talking about Mike Greenberg, Greenie on ESPN. He actually said he's code switching, ironically.
Mike Greenberg.
He said he was talking.
In what direction?
Towards white, because, you know, Mike Greenberg is Jewish. And he code switched to white, traditional white American, not New Yorker.
Yeah. Because
he said he used to literally practice on how to enunciate. And he said the only word he has got rid of his New York, he has been unable to relinquish his New York accent, has not been able to relinquish it, is coffee. And when he said that, he says, I don't know how he says it, and it sounds like he's saying coffee to me, but he said he switched. So it is a universal thing. But the difference is Mike Greenberg, in a couple of weeks, he's going to be celebrating Yom Kippur, remembering. And a few months after that, he's going to be celebrating Yarmulke, remembering. And we don't have a foundation, which is the breeding ground for bitch assness.
Yeah.
Because maybe, just maybe, the sucker behavior is a lack of foundation in the community. Because, like we said, you hang around Mo, you hang around Nash, you hang around Big Illinois, you hang around DMVJ, and you're saying, I'm okay. But it's always that one joker, like you said, I'm cool, but I'm better than you.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're the magical Negro because you live in the suburbs. You're the magical Negro because you have the good job. You're the magical Negro because, and I got, and it's, and I hate to stretch the show out even longer, but you ever notice that dude is usually the bummest, brokest, clownest dude in the whole bunch? Because I got a homeboy. And he don't like me to say his name on here, and it's for employment reasons. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
He has every reason to be that dude. His mother was a ad exec. His dad was a UN attorney / college professor. His grandfather was a successful businessman. His grandmother, one of the sweetest people in the history of the world. He had every reason to be like, I'm better than y'all. But he was down to earth. Well, I got another homie when he got his show you. Hey, when you talk about sucker shit, he went and got his real estate license and started telling people he was a land developer.
Yeah, that's some sucker shit, man. And I you know what, man? It's sad because hey, it is what it is. You're going to encounter them every day, man. And the ones who, you don't have that discernment to just really pick them out like that. You know what I'm saying? And you allow yourself to just, for whatever reason, link up, whether it's business or whatever, and then you got to find out the hard way, man, this joker, he a bitch ass nigga. It's disappointing. It's disappointing.
Hey man, dudes had a discernment. It's this comedian said it. He said men don't know how to break up with men.
Wow.
He said we don't know how to break
the context of that conversation or that joke.
And he said, no, he just it was just that. He said when he was talking about clowns in your crew, he said the reason clowns stay in your crew because if your old lady cheat on you, your feelings hurt. You leaving her alone. Yeah. He's like, if your old lady disrespects you or hit you, you're gonna go to jail, you leave her alone. He said, dudes don't know how to break up with dudes. You will keep a clown in your crew forever. We will not break up with a clown. And I was like,
you won't let him in that inner circle like that to the point to where
he can hurt you.
Put it like this. Exactly. You won't put him in a situation where he can hurt you. But it's like you just kind of stay cool. We all got them, man.
Yeah.
We all got them.
Break up with
some of them be family. It's like, that's my man's right there. That's the homie right there. He good. He just, nigga a little off. But he cool. And you and in a lot of situations you will protect him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know how it was back in the day. You coming up in the neighborhood, you will beat his ass all day. But you ain't gonna let nobody else mess with him. Yeah. And that ain't gonna change. You doing it with the hopes that maybe one day this'll make him solid.
Yeah, and never happens.
And it never happens. And he just, all right, man, we're cool. Just don't let your, don't let your woman beat your ass around the house, whenever you don't take the trash out.
Yeah.
But that's y'all bitch.
I was thinking about this dude, and in a comedic sense, I should have broke over with this chub in '89, and we still cool to this day.
Yeah, he said, "Wow, that's a funny way to put that, though."
Hey, put like this: the homie Big Illinois, he is my barometer. If Big Illinois don't like you, I'm watching you at hello. If that dude right there, but look, man, I've been running with Big Illinois for 40 years. Yeah. 40 years. I've never seen Big Illinois get into an argument with anybody. Not one argument.
He keep him away.
Big Illinois, and Big Illinois say, I don't like that. I'm like, yeah, we out.
So I'm off with him.
Yeah, hey. Because that's a cat that gets along with everybody. Illinois say he don't rock with you. It's like, oh, no, we got to go. I mean, dude could be handing me $1 million check. And if Illinois go, oh, man, I don't know about that dude, dog. Because I've never heard him say it. In 40 years, I know him to be angry with, and he's still angry with this dude named Cortine, this dude named Frenchot's mama. I'll tell you about Frenchot's mama. And It's like 2 or 3 other people in 40 years, and he's never had an argument. I've never seen Illinois argue with a dude in 40 plus years. I think me and Illinois met in 81.
That's almost impossible to do, bro.
Man, and that's why if that cat say, nah, I'm like, oh,
that's almost impossible.
I'm telling you, I wish my man Draz was on here with us. Draz will tell you, if Ant is beefing with somebody,
that means,
if I saw Illinois argue with somebody, I'll take off on Buddy. At 53 years old, I'll bust Buddy in this mouth.
I'm about to say, because that means if you ain't argue with nobody in 40 plus years, that means you done knocked a lot of jokers out, because you can't really cross paths with too many people that you ain't going to.
No, Illinois won't engage with you. He'll be,
all right, man.
Yeah.
I need that kind of discipline. I need to talk to Big Illinois. Hey, Big Illinois, if you listening, you watching, hit me up. I need to get some of that discipline from you, bro.
Hey, man, the chump ain't never argued with nobody, man. It's amazing. I can't say this story, but we were in this, like again, Chicago super segregated. And we were in the van with Dre and Chill, and we were in this Hispanic neighborhood. And he I can't even tell this stuff, but he's like, man, I ain't scared of nobody, and walked into the McDonald's. And I that's my man. I had to jump out the van too. But it was one of them neighborhoods that you gonna get shot. There wasn't no fight. I was like, I gotta get shot. But yeah, he was like, hey man, I ain't scared of these dudes. And he walked into the McDonald's, and I was like, oh. Damn, I gotta back him. I gotta go in. I can't go in. Let him walk to the. I closed the van. So we'll be back in a minute, man.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, Big Illinois. Don't get mad at nobody, man. So if you see Big Illinois beef with somebody,
we don't want to wake that one up, then, because they know we can go no 40 years without arguing with nobody.
Hey, it's a dude in Black Springer that he don't like.
Oh yeah. He ain't gonna argue with him. As long as they don't cross paths, he all right. As long as they don't cross paths, man. All right, man. Rap, close us out, man.
All right. I just got a text. Mo said end the show. Shh.
Say what?
I just got a text. Mo said end the show. Shh. Like,
who said that?
Shut up. You know who said that.
Oh, okay, all right.
I told you, she said I talk too much.
See, listen, man. All right, then. Well, we're going to close the show, man. Listen, shout out to everybody for tapping in, man. Y'all know what to do, man. Subscribe, like, share the show. If you got some ideas about some conversations, do we want their ideas, man?
Oh yeah.
I didn't think about that when I said that.
Before everybody go, I need everybody to hit that like button, please. No matter what show we on, wrap it up on Sundays. Forecast Mondays, Build and Destroy Tuesdays, Chief Seats Wednesdays, Wrap It Up Thursdays, Rap with H-Rap Fridays. Please, whatever you do when you come in, hit that like button. Please, like, hit that like or thumbs up. Whatever it is on, we need that because it's that old block and King Von is on.
Hey man, listen, that's our show, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all lock back in with us next week, man. And we will come back with a consistent date and time. Until then, we'll put that information out there. But
good night,
that's the show, man.
What I'm not going to do is turn this shit down to make you happy.